now it's recording. So, I've never told you about my mom. So, my mama, this is her birthday. My mom's name was Miriam. Did you know that? Oh. And my cousins all called her Aunt Mimi. I don't think I'm like my mom. She was very, very, very creative. She was like living in nowhere, Nebraska, but she always just put a creative twist to everything, because she was basically just living out in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska, with all these farm women. And a lot of times they misunderstood my mom, because she would never make like the same recipe over again. She always had to do something different. Like every church picnic and stuff that we would go to, all the other women would make like just their basic casseroles.
Where should I put this tooth?
Oh, here, I'll take it. With like, you know, those fried onions and stuff on top. But she'd always make this stuff, and usually no one would eat any of it because it was like too weird for them.
And my fries.
Oh, there's your fries. I'll get one more. And she loved literature. She loved reading. And sometimes she would just close her door and just read and read and read and read and read, and we just wouldn't see her for a long time. She just loved it. Sometimes that was kind of her escape, and sometimes she needed an escape from living kind of in the middle. And she loved dogs. Did I ever tell you that she raised Dalmatian dogs? And she loved music. She had a beautiful voice, singing voice, and she could also play the piano. And the thing, I think I'm a lot like my mom, and I think you guys are like that too. You know, the whole thing we're doing with Mason is my mom always wanted to help the underdog. She always saw the people that needed something and wanted to help. And and I know. This is Enzo's tooth that just fell out right now when he was eating his burger. And she was a very religious person, actually. And she was an incredible writer. And I think you guys will get your writing skills from my mom, because she had a wonderful knack with words. And she loved to smoke cigarettes too. That was her downfall. I can just remember the way she used to just like take a huge drag on a cigarette, and then just like this whole kind of like happy expression on her face after she got that nicotine to hit. And she was a very bad housekeeper like me. And I always wondered, I always thought that I would be a really good housekeeper, you know, because of my mom. But I guess I just came to realize that it just doesn't matter, really. You could spend your whole life trying to keep your house clean, and what have you accomplished? Nothing. I think my mom saw that too. There was nothing permanent in housekeeping, and that's just the way she was. And she was quiet sometimes. My mom would be kind of quiet. Sometimes I think she was actually kind of shy in some ways, but she was always trying to start new things in the community, make things happen, always. And she and my dad pretty much got the swimming pool put in to our little town, which was huge. And she and my dad, mostly my mom, just spent a lot of time getting the community building put in the little town where we are. Remember when we went to the fair, that place where you'd get the pies and stuff? She and my dad pretty much made that all because she was all about community. And
were these made with like real truffle butter?
I think so. Aren't those good?
I like the truffles.
Yeah, it's very awesome.
I've never tried them before, but if they taste like this, then I like them.
And my mom was always the leader of everything. Like she wanted to always start new things and get people going and interested. Like she taught Sunday school class like forever and ever and ever. That was really important to her. And she was always a 4-H leader, teaching the kids to sew, girls to sew. And then she was always, there's this teen group in the church called Luther League, and she and my dad were always Luther League sponsors. And I thought it was always cool because then we got to hang out with like kind of the teenagers, when I was little. And she was very passionate about what she believed in. She was always writing letters to the editor. She wanted to make change, my mom did. And even though she was a woman, and back then women were not as capable of making change, and she was in the middle of nowhere on this tiny little farm, that didn't stop her. She didn't look at her situation and say, oh, I'm just this little housewife, farm wife, there's nothing I can do. She never ever thought that way. She always thought very big. And I admired that about her a ton. And I think you guys are like that. So, you think big? We can make this happen. We can do this. Let's make this change. And she was very, very proud of what she did. And she was a farm wife, but she was extremely proud of her contributions. And she was extremely supportive of my dad. And just that whole rural way of life, which is really incredible. And I think, as the world changes, it makes me sad. People like my mom are the ones that will make a difference. People that are good and honest and steadfast and do the things that they truly, truly, truly believe in. And they don't want all the glory. Most people like now just want to become super, super rich and have fame. And my mom just, in small ways, wanted to make the world better. Makes me cry. She would have loved you. Because she was all about knowledge too, and learning things, and education. She would have just been so interested in the way you think. April 19th, 2012. That's my mom. What? 2013. What did I say? 2012. Oh, it's 2013. And I was pregnant with you, when she died. And in some ways, I don't know if I've ever told you this, I wanted you to be a girl. Because then I thought, it was this weird thing, but my mom died way too young, and it was very sad for me. I thought, well, I will have this girl, and it will be my mom again. Like, I can have her back from you. And that was unfair. But I'm super glad you were a boy, because no one can have been my mom, replaced my mom. Love you, Mom. Love you, Eds.